Thank you, Shane. I speak for all of us to express our gratitude for the opportunity to be here and do this. I am honored to be among these guys. I'm also honored to be among you. I consider them my friends. I consider you my friends potentially, and I see many of my friends there. Ultimately, I think democracy is about friendship. It's about how we treat each other personally, as well as how we treat each other publicly, civically, as we work together to organize our lives that we live together. The thing is, individuals influence each other, and they can make changes, positive or negative, in response to those influences. To do that requires us to do it well. It requires us to learn values and practice actions that sustain the kinds of relationships that help people stay together. So what does this have to do with jazz? Watch. Don't just listen, watch. As Marcus once told me, jazz music proposes that people can live honestly and harmoniously together despite their differences. You'll see and hear today how making this music, just like living well together, requires of all of us equality and sacrifice.
BYU, how you doing? My name is Alfonso Horn. I am the professor of jazz trumpet at Michigan State University. I'm originally from Jacksonville, Florida.
Hello, my name is Tim Blackman. I'm also on the trumpet. I'm the applied jazz trumpet instructor at Oakland University in Auburn Hills, Michigan, and I'm originally from Miami, Florida.
Hey there, BYU. It's Ron Westray, Oscar Peterson Chair, York University, Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Hello, BYU. My name is Jason Marcellus. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I'll be on the drums today.
Hello, my name is Rodney Jordan. I'm professor of jazz studies at Florida State University, and I play the bass.
Hello, everybody. My name is Stephen Riley, and I'm from Greenville, North Carolina. I'm playing tenor saxophone. Thank you.
Tissa Khosla here on the baritone saxophone from Mumbai, India.
Hello, my name is Joe Goldberg. I'm playing the alto saxophone and clarinet from Palm Bay, Florida.
Hey, BYU, I'm Ricardo Pascal from Croydon, England. I'm a saxophone instructor at Tulane University in New Orleans, Louisiana, and we are the modern jazz generation. Please join me in welcoming the genius of the modern piano, the J Master himself, Marcus Roberts.
Thank you so much. And good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's a great honor to be here at BYU for this Forum Assembly. And I'd like to thank Dr. John Rosenberg, his staff, and the entire BYU administration for making this possible. My name is Marcus Roberts, and I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida. Losing my sight at age 5 was my first awareness that life is not always fair. And it was the beginning of understanding that to thrive in this world, we must all depend on one another in some way. This band has grown from our shared experience of working and playing together and learning to get along with each other. But we've also learned to depend on and trust one another in order to create something greater together than any of us could have created alone. Now, from its very beginning, jazz music was a democratic art form, invented in the early 20th century by people just a few short decades out of slavery. These early musicians were fighting for access to democracy with pride and dignity. Through their music, they created a democratic structure for themselves, even though they were not able to participate fully in American democracy. Through the music, they created a system of equality that allowed everyone's voice to be heard and everyone's talent to shine.
400 years have passed since the first slaves from Africa landed in Virginia. But change takes time, and change is full of ups and downs. Whenever one group of people is fighting for change, other groups are fighting against it. Frederick Douglass certainly understood that. He wrote, "In a composite nation like ours, there should be, as before the law, no rich, no poor, no high, no low, no black, no white, but one country, one citizenship, equal rights, and a common destiny for all."
We're going to play a song for you now called The Intensity of Change. This song uses different moods, rhythms, and tempos to symbolize many of life's changing circumstances.
Thank you very much. Equality is a fundamental principle of democracy. And to be honest, most bands are not particularly democratic. So how can a band be more democratic? The answer is that we have to make room for each other to sound good. Before I joined the Marcus Roberts Trio, the power of that group amazed me, and that's because I was listening to the sounds of democracy in action. What I heard in that band was a fundamental equality and respect between the musicians, and I wanted to be a part of that.
The Marcus Roberts Trio, our trio, is an experiment in democracy on a musical level, with the bass and drums having roles that are equal to the piano. For this to work, the leader has to allow everyone to share in controlling the direction of the music. This is not true in most jazz bands because jazz musicians are imperfect, just like the rest of America.
It's true, but we keep trying. We keep trying. Because every time we succeed in working and staying and playing together, every time we listen to everyone's voice, we become stronger and better musicians and better people.
We're going to play a song for you now called The Spanish Tinge to demonstrate the democratic structure of our trio. Hopefully, you will see how we're all listening and paying attention to each other.
How about the Marcus Roberts Trio? Yeah. Thank you, thank you. It's human nature to be selfish and to want to promote your own agenda. That's the opposite of what we've just seen and heard. One lesson from jazz is that it asks us, first of all, to respect one another.
Another lesson I've learned from this band is that my voice is equally important. I've learned to value myself as much as other people.
Thank you, thank you. Jazz allows us to express our own ideas. Of course, there are rules, just as we have in a well-ordered society. There is a carefully defined structure to the music, but that structure allows for flexibility.
There's a lot of freedom in jazz music. You can take a lot of liberties with it. When I first started playing with Marcus almost 30 years ago, I didn't do that. I just played everything exactly as it was written. But Marcus encouraged me to integrate what I knew of the history of this music, because jazz music arose out of the experiences of black people in America, but also out of my own history.
And my history.
And my history.
And our history.
And your history, too. When people work and play together, conflict is a natural consequence, and it has to be resolved if they are going to stay together, work together, or make music together. In our band, it's not really possible to create great music if we don't resolve our conflicts, because the music requires us to communicate and collaborate. And unresolved conflicts makes true communication impossible.
I think that's true in all of our relationships. Conflict is inevitable, but communication and collaboration are always options.
You do need a healthy ego and personality to play jazz, but that has to be balanced with an openness to other people's ideas and creative power. This helps us to resolve conflict in a way that builds democratic character.
If you don't work to resolve your conflicts, you will most likely end up with the blues. Yes, sir. When we play the blues, we are using music to first state what the problem is. Then we say it again. And finally, we look for some kind of resolution. This is the same process we can use to handle conflict and difficulties in life. We talk about the problem, talk about it some more, then try to resolve it.
Our greatest American composer, Duke Ellington, once said, "Problems are opportunities. I'll say that again. Problems are opportunities. And one way my mother taught me to cope with my disability was to always use adversity as a stepping stone to success. We're going to play a song for you now called Being Attacked by the Blues.
Thank you, thank you. To truly play jazz well requires not only great focus and a willingness to work hard, but it also requires that you work in collaboration with other people. Our band is a community of musicians, and we learn to play this music in the ideal way by helping one another along the way. Every one of us believes in this music, and Marcus has taught us how to believe in each other and how to trust one another.
The special thing about Marcus is that once you're a member of his band, you're a permanent member of his band. It doesn't matter how skilled you are or if you're struggling, you will be given an opportunity to grow and to address your inadequacies. That's true mentoring. And that was a part of jazz music from the very beginning. We've lost much of that tradition in 21st century America, but it's still alive and well in the modern jazz generation.
And how do you like this band so far? How about a hand for the modern jazz generation? It's been a joy working with them. I mean, I believe that mentoring is critically important to the development of character. And character is developed not during times of comfort and convenience, but in times of adversity and conflict. This is a time in our history as a nation when we need more than ever to learn to work together as a group. We do this one person at a time, right? Okay? And this is really important for you guys to hear because you all are the next generation. So we all have a responsibility to serve as a mentor to others and to pass our support and knowledge on to the next generation, even the people under y'all, all right? Cool.
The modern jazz generation has 3 generations of musicians. We're going to play a short version of a song for you called Athanatos Rhythmos. You will see how the different generations work together seamlessly to make room for one another to improvise, with each soloist coming in one person at a time.
We're almost done, sadly. I hope this has not only been entertaining for you, but most important, has provided you a glimpse into how this great music can teach these musicians democratic character as they play it. And mostly, I hope you can see what it has to teach all of us as well. The lessons I take from today are these. Originally, there were 4. I've added 1. The first lesson is, however great a band is, an audience can make it that much greater. And you did. Lessons, acknowledgement and acceptance of everyone's essential equality. Willingness to sacrifice elements of your own agenda. Commitment to resolving conflict through listening and communicating. Willingness to practice those principles as we mentor others. What it all comes down to is this: working together to develop and nourish democratic character will make each of us a better person than we ever could have imagined on our own.
Art of all types has a critical role in society, and one of its essential roles is to propose solutions to problems. That's what jazz artists like Duke Ellington, Ella Fitzgerald, and Thelonious Monk were doing. They were describing a world that was equal and fair, a world where anyone could become the man or woman they aspired to be. They envisioned this world even though they didn't have full access to it. They couldn't stay at any hotel they chose or buy a house in any neighborhood. Their right to vote was even restricted, but on the bandstand, they lived a regal and exalted existence. Our democracy is still evolving, and jazz still has much to teach us about how we can become a better country and better people. That's my goal, becoming a better person every day that I'm blessed to be on this earth. Thank you so much.